My work tends to be shape or form driven. I like to make very simple shapes. I don't like to glaze. And so I've wanted to use decorative elements that really enhanced the shapes that I was creating and give a more natural feel, like they kind of grew out of the ground or came up out of the pond or something like that. So I do use a lot of natural elements. I press leaves, press pine cones, whatever, into my work. And I really wanted to get a raised surface as opposed to just making an impression into the clay. So this seemed like the natural extension of my interest in natural things. So, because I work mostly in these wonderful shell textures, I'm going to demonstrate a shell. I'm going to do a shell mold here. Now, I've tried some different things. I've tried Pam, I tried a silicone spray, I tried Vaseline to get the item to release from the plaster. And Vaseline seems to be the most effective, but I have to put it on carefully because the Vaseline fills in the impressions. So I'm just going to, actually, since I have the Pam here too, I guess I'll do a little of both and we'll see what releases the best today. So I've got Vaseline on here. I'm trying very hard to not get it embedded in the impressions. And I've just got a plastic container here. I'm going to set the shell in there. I think I'll do this one, Vaseline. And we'll spray it all with Pam. The thing about making plaster casts is you can't do anything that extends up or cuts under. So your things have to be sort of flat. You can't have anything that extends out, like you couldn't do a whole pine cone. You'd have to cut the pine cone in half and lay it flat because you can't get it out from inside of your shape. Okay. So, and it needs to be the consistency of, oh, I don't know, thick muffin batter, I guess. Let's see. It'll start to set a little bit, and then we'll put this aside. Okay. So I have my shells in here coated with Pam and the Vaseline, and I'm just going to pour the plaster in. And you can do this. Oops, you can do this right on a cardboard if your plaster is firm enough. And you want to get enough on there that it makes a nice sturdy. What you'll do is come up and take a look at the molds and select some molds that you'd like to try, and we can share because the clay just goes into the mold for just a few minutes, just long enough to get your shape. So I'm going to pinch off just a little bit of clay. Don't need very much. And what should I put this? What do I got? The corn?
I'll do a shell.
Not
won't go with the
shell. I'll do a shell. Okay, here's one of these, a whirl shell. So I'm just going to take my clay, I made it into a smooth ball, and I'm just going to press it right in, firmly into the mold. And then you want to set that aside for a minute. Get another mold. Oh, here, this is star fruit. Oh, this is the end of a star fruit. So this is my take on a starfish. So we'll use the ridiculous yellow. And again, just make it into a smooth ball. The clay is very soft. Just press it in there. And it doesn't matter if there's extra on the outside, that's perfectly fine. In fact, it's preferable. Now I'm going to go back to the other one that I had earlier. The plaster absorbs moisture. So you want to leave it just for a couple minutes so that it'll be easier to get your sprig out of the mold. It should not stick. Might have to peel it a little bit, but it shouldn't stick. And there, now I have the little shape of the shell.
Oh my gosh. Interesting things.
Then I cover them with a rag so they stay kind of, and then I'll go on and on. It's kind of random then. And you can use, if you're using any shell shapes, if you're using some shell shapes,
Pretty cool.
so that it wasn't solid. Because it'll be too thick and it will pop off. Even something
You
like
can press it
this.
into your...
I'm going to give you some tools to scoop this out of the middle so there's an indentation there.
Oh, she's got that tray over there. That's all right. I think we can. So it looks like what?
I need some mud.
You might have to glue next to my niece. Or my niece will